Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and we're in the home stretch of the MomTok marathon, and we cannot even tell you how much we want to be done watching this season.
We are at the breaking point of MomTok. Will MomTok survive? Will Corey and Carly survive?
Okay, so this is what I'm concerned about. When we last did this show, we had to watch it all the way through in a true marathon. This time we were given screeners, which gave us the ability to break up the episodes, and yet my brain still feels the way it did after we binge watched them.
Yeah, still scrambled eggs upstairs for me here at the end of this. And so we've kind of reached the point where it's like, all right, I'm not really having fun watching it so much anymore. So my patience level is wearing thin. I just have a low grade migraine constantly running in the background here. So just so we're level setting, so everybody understands kind of where we're coming from at this point in the reviews.
Okay, you know what's in my head? The whomp sound that's at the end every time they go to a commercial break.
Dropping the bass. Ooh.
It's just playing on a loop.
Well, plus, okay, the last 3 episodes, we actually ran out of time on the screeners that we had access to. We didn't even get through the whole thing because it cut off the day before they premiered. So we didn't even finish out the season. So we had to watch them as they came out on Disney Plus and Hulu here. So watching them with ads, that was the whole other part too.
Oh, maybe that's what made it worse.
That hurt too.
Well, to be fair, we had to trade the watermark that went all the way across the screen for the ads, and maybe I would take the ads.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like a pick your poison thing where all of it's just annoying every way you cut it.
This is season 3, episode 9, by the way, the Book of Judgment. And
we are judging. Yes.
This can be very judgy. That's setting the mood for this episode.
Very much.
The most important thing we have to get out of the way is someone I'm pretty sure this was TikTok, pointed out the visual similarities between Jen Affleck and Roxanne from the Goofy movie.
Yeah, this is the most important thing that I need to talk about today. Because honestly, Jen has always looked familiar to me. And I don't know if I ever nailed it down. And it's like, this might be it, you guys. This is probably
uncanny. I would watch an animated version of this.
We got the whole goof troop lined up here. That's for sure. Today, now more than ever.
We're not going to go in order. The first thing that jogs my memory is Zach and Connor pitching their idea for the Dad Talk show, which I was really into because they're going to be going to LA together for Dancing with the Stars since Whitney and Jen are both going to be on it. And they've now purchased matching strollers.
The 3 stacks that they have. But that's got to be really difficult to navigate LA with a triple banger stroller.
I don't think you could go into a store with that, can you?
I hope not. Yeah, I don't think so.
The 2 of them? They're talking about doing all these activities together, and they're going to have to take both those strollers.
They're talking about opening a homeschool where their curriculum is entirely going to Disney. I don't know how that works out.
Jesse and Demi will send their kids up.
Probably.
Signing them up, send them out there.
I don't think it's accredited, but it is something worth looking into, I suppose.
I would have preferred to have watched that. All right. Now, Whitney in this episode, I think she's trying to be the mediator for the producers, but she's kind of just like riding the fence between the 2 groups, and it's getting annoying because she's going to talk to various members of MomTok about Demi, and then she turns around and tells Demi what they said. How come at no point she got accused of being the mole this season? Because they just dropped that.
I love how, we never came back to that. It was just an accusation that was flying around, and then nobody cares anymore by the end of it.
I was really into solving that. Like, I thought it was going to be a big part of the plot.
I wanted a mystery. Yeah, I wanted a big reveal. I wanted something to happen, some sort of payoff here. I'm putting in the hard work. You guys are making me do the heavy lifting at the front of the season where I have to come up with the storylines.
We had a whole theory.
And now, we get to the back end of this and it's like, it doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, well, it was very important to me.
Give the audience what they want.
Yeah, so give me a break. Well, either that or is Whitney just kind of feeling out like who she's going to try to approach this with as far as knowing what we know for the final episode. She's trying to find people who want to mediate with her.
Yeah, so my theory is Whitney's public relations person that she clearly works with has had a conversation with her about how she comes off better on the show because everybody has hated her. She's been made into the villain. So how does she make being on this show valuable to her? Because clearly she wants other opportunities. And being the villain probably isn't going to be the thing that's going to propel you into other opportunities and success. So my guess is they want her to be more of the Macy, where Macy has been the intermediary and she never really gets, she's involved in drama to a certain extent, but she stays clean. Yeah, she's the one here to unite everybody. And that seems to be where Whitney's trying to pivot to. So she goes and talks to Miranda about this meeting that she had with Demi in the last episode. And at this point, Whitney's really unsure of what to think about Demi and her story because coming out of that conversation, she was feeling for Demi again until she went home and talked to Connor about it. And then Connor kind of had to connect the dots for Whitney.
That was my theory. Yeah, that was my theory.
And now she's questioning everything because if Connor came out of that thinking, well, maybe Demi's not being totally truthful, maybe I'm missing something. So Miranda explains, look, our issue with Demi is that she's handling this in a way that we don't like. It's not that we have an issue necessarily with her or what she's claimed happened between her and Marciano. It's the way she's handled all of this stuff.
Well, the lying usually doesn't help, especially when you're trying to have people trust you and what you're saying, and everything is based off of your account of what took place. But then also you're lying about so many other things that you're caught in a lie.
Well, I think the other hard thing is she's coming off of a season where she went really hard at people and was trying to ostracize other people out of the group for some of the exact things that they suspect she's now done, like coming at Jen for being a liar.
Or what was the reason why she was trying to get everybody to turn on Taylor?
It was the CMA post.
Right, yeah, and how horrible that was.
That they all supported Taylor, and then Taylor was like making it like they never supported her, which was kind of a little dramatic. They all have their moments.
But this is why the show feels forced. This feels like this isn't even like a real thing that's happening right now. It's just something that Demi has to dig her heels into because that was what her storyline has been. So like she's leaning into this and sticking with that, but they also still have to go do press together too. So now you're figuring out how to navigate this when you have all of this other mess that's going on behind the scenes. And then that's all stuff in this later season that you're not really talking about yet because nobody's seen any of this footage yet.
No, so they go to that ET interview and it's all of them up there on the stage. And they roll the tape on that moment last season where Chase, let's use Demi's words, Chase shoves Demi and then she goes and gets Bret and has him kick Chase out of the party.
Okay, and this is where I got my timeline a little bit mixed up when I was discrediting Demi earlier this season here, because technically this did take place after the Vanderpump Villa stuff filmed.
Well, that's what it sounds like later when she talks about this, because she was proud of herself for having stood up to Chase, and she said that's something she wouldn't have done before. So then we thought about it, and they filmed Vanderpump Villa before season 1 premiered because nobody knew who they were yet. So that means it would have had to have happened before they got back and then they started filming season 2, if we're getting the timeline correct. I don't like that they're doing to us on this show what they do on Sister Wives.
I don't.
Or now we have to piece things together and try to figure out when things happened or when things didn't happen.
Well, and it's the reaction to that too. That's the other confusing part. Plus, okay, I will alter my theory then of not her reaction to it, but then Bret's reaction to it. Because when she went and told Bret, hey, you got to do something about Chase because he just put his hands on me, he reacted in a very immediate way as well. Had he known that about Marciano's interactions with Demi, I don't think he'd be door dashing him food on a regular basis.
Oh, that's a good point.
So maybe we can shift that where it's not Demi's reaction, it's Bret's reaction in that example. That still doesn't line up. It still doesn't make sense.
Well, the thing that turns out to be the issue that Miranda has with it later when they talk is the term shoved. So Chase is Miranda's ex. So she's being defensive of him in this conversation, that she felt like that was too strong of a word for what it was he did, and that's what makes it seem like an overreaction, or that's why they're naming it an overreaction.
Okay, the part that bothers me is in Demi's examples here of someone who's very sensitive to unwanted touch. She seems to be touching everyone in this room without their consent necessarily here.
Yeah, she shoves Miranda multiple times
to try to demonstrate. Yeah, she's demonstrating this not just to Miranda, but to the makeup artist who's working on Whitney right now. There's like several people in this room who are receiving unwanted touches from Demi. So maybe let's kind of be the change that we want to see in the world and not go and do that as part of this example.
The other thing that's driving me nuts about these few last episodes and the interview that they did on ET is Demi denies anything ever happening with Marciano. Like, she never kissed him. Why does nobody ever bring up the lie detector test?
What happened to the first 5 episodes of this season? They're trying to pretend like that didn't exist. It was just a fever dream. You imagined the whole thing. This entire series is just gaslighting, and it's gaslighting the audience more than anything. These women are so gaslit in their own personal lives and in their relationships with each other and their significant others that now they're taking it out on the viewing audience, where now they have to gaslight us. What did you see? No, you didn't see that. That wasn't real. You imagined that.
We never did a lie detector test. That's why we didn't bring it up again.
Yeah, that's too Jerry Springer. That's trashy.
Why even ask the questions about Demi if you were never going to bring it up again?
Because they didn't even get a definitive answer on that too. But still, regardless, Jesse was in a bigger mess with that. I think that's why they dropped this really quick too, was that Jesse kind of left the door open on a few different spots in those answers where things weren't really looking totally good for her, where she was in the clear necessarily. That's what she told Jordan. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything came back real good. But then there was some other stuff where it was like, maybe let's not look into that. Let's not double back on this.
It was just weird that just got dropped and never spoken about again.
Very frustrating.
Whitney's super embarrassed by this entire display because they literally get in a fight with each other while they're in this ET interview.
It was mostly, it was like Jen and Miranda were kind of sticking to, and Taylor kind of
giving Demi a hard time.
Giving Demi a hard time specifically. And then Whitney's whole thing is basically just, this is wildly unprofessional because this is a business event.
Except for me. I stayed professional.
I stayed very professional, obviously.
Look, I got to tell you, I'm going to regret saying this. I already know it. I think I like Whitney.
The Whitney quips. Okay, I will caveat this. I like Whitney the less she knows. So, like, the more removed she can be. If you can feed Whitney the amount of information that Miranda absorbs,
it'd be a much better show for her.
That's the level that I need Whitney to be at to be manageable.
Yeah, she needs to not be part of the drama.
Yes, because she gets too invested in it.
And she makes then everything about herself.
It becomes very personal, very quick for her.
Whitney came into this season saying, look, I'm back, but it's strictly business. I'm not getting involved in the friendship side of things. But that's like not really working out for her, especially as she's getting more and more involved in what's going on. Because then she's in the car with Demi after this ET interview. And Demi just completely breaks down because she feels attacked by the group. She feels like she's been misunderstood. It feels like a really big betrayal for people who were close to her to now brand her a liar. And that's all it takes for Whitney to be swayed to be right back on Demi's side.
But this is Whitney's weakness, is that she believes whoever she's talking to in this conversation, whatever the last bit of information that she hears, that's what she's going with.
She's always on the side of whoever she most recently talked to.
Yeah, like to an extent, but then also she's trying to say that like, oh, Demi's being very honest about this stuff. It's this vulnerability that I've never seen. That's what's so special about this deep friendship that we have. And it's like, no, we don't have any friends here. Remember, this is all business.
I will say she was a lot more open and vulnerable with Whitney than she was later when everybody met up.
Yeah, and I think the amount of vulnerability that we see is at the behest of Whitney. Whitney's like, oh, you got to do more of that, Demi, because that's how you're going to win everybody back. So I think she's probably steering her in that direction a little bit. But yeah, it's just, Whitney just can't quit these MomTok relationships. That's what it comes down to.
I thought it was really weird when she was saying E.T. was not the time or the place to be having that conversation, just because they literally rolled a clip from the season and asked a question about it, and they were responding to the question.
Yeah, it seemed applicable. I mean, well, then that was where Jen had to say, well, you just have to watch future seasons because they couldn't really get into why everyone was so upset. Yeah, they can't
elaborate more.
So it's like, well, yeah, you're a little too far ahead on where the drama is. You got to let everybody catch up.
I mean, I do think that Whitney's very self-serving. So maybe in that moment, she was like, I want to talk about being on Dancing with the Stars. Can we get to my big announcement? Can we stop talking about what's going on with Demi in the group?
Well, especially when there is drama that's brewing amongst these other people. And then it's like, well, yeah, now they're going to get some more follow-up questions. That's all we're going to talk about this whole interview here. It's just seeing these ladies tearing each other down. But that's not what MomTok's all about. It's all about the empowerment. It's about building each other up.
Can someone tell us what MomTok is?
It's still
last episode, they were here for changing the church and
social change.
Championing LGBTQ rights.
Yes.
And now this episode, they're back to, this is a group of friends where we're all here to support one another and to build our businesses.
Yeah, we're doing all of the things. All of these things.
I think they need to write a mission statement.
That's going to take too long. It's going to take half a season. Well, yeah, they should do that. The first half of the next season, they'll write a mission statement. And then the second half of the season will just be complete opposition to everything that they put time and effort and thought into. That,
and they'll never tell us about it again.
And they'll pretend like they didn't even write that. They don't even know what you're talking about.
The other Whitney quip that got me was, it's exhausting riding the fence. I don't know how you do it, Macy. I like the little jabs.
I don't think, does Macy ride the fence?
Yes.
Though? Really?
Yes.
I think
This season, she's been a little bit more vocal about who she's annoyed with.
Yeah.
But typically, she's very much like the one who is the mediator, the one in the middle.
I think she's low key, though. That's the main thing.
She's the Heather. So, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's the Heather Gay of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, where she serves a purpose as a narrator and a producer tool. And she has to be in the middle of everyone so that she can facilitate conversations between groups.
Yeah, it seems like she has her alignment now with Michaela. And then it seems like she still has loyalty, but like frustrated loyalty to Taylor.
Yes.
And those are like her two main guiding principles, I suppose, for how she interacts in the group.
So Demi had that conversation with Miranda where it got a little tense. Miranda felt really good about standing up for Chase, but Demi was not very happy at the end of that conversation. And so she calls Bret. And we asked, I think it was the last episode, where's Bret? We need to get his side of the story. If he's door dashing Marciano food, we need to hear more about what he knows about what happened.
Be careful what you wish for.
Man, this was a very small glimmer into the world of Demi and Bret when they're away with each other. I don't like Bret. I mean, Demi does get him fired up, which is exactly what she did that night at the Halloween party.
That's a similarity.
So the first thing she's telling him is that Miranda said she's a liar, that they're talking about, what's a shove versus, I don't even know what Miranda eventually called it.
A push, a shove.
I mean, neither of those are good words.
Touch, or unwanted touch. I think that's what we always come back to with Demi.
And Bret is calling Miranda white trash and saying all kinds of things about the women.
I'm sorry I called you a hillbilly. I don't even know what that means.
I felt like he has very little respect for women. I get that your wife is having a confrontation with her group of friends and that you feel protective of her, but the way that he was speaking about them,
But they don't deserve your friendship.
it was like very demeaning. He was talking about it being Jerry Springer-like.
Well, then they should have brought the lie detector out if it was going to be like Jerry Springer.
Where are the results?
Bring that up.
While she's having that conversation with Bret, some of the other women are in another room talking about what just happened with Demi. So it's Miranda, Taylor, I think Macy, and Michaela. And what Miranda's saying is it makes it a lot harder for other women who have experienced sexual assault to speak up and be believed when there are, in some instances, people who are not completely truthful about what happened to them. So in this episode, they're all openly talking about not believing Demi, because that's going to change when we go into the last episode of the season.
Does it?
The way they
Does
left
it?
this is they tried to put a bow around it and make it like, well, of course, we always believe someone who says that they were sexually assaulted.
They try to find an out for everybody
Yes.
that we can get back on. But like for right now, it's pretty clear where it's like, no, we don't believe Demi because she's a liar. And Demi's like, well, what I said happened, and you should believe victims. And if you say anything otherwise, oppositionally to that, then that's not okay.
So they go on this double-decker bus ride as part of their press tour. And really the only important thing that comes out of that is this realization that Whitney has had, that fame has destroyed the genuine friendships that started in MomTok. And so she is on this journey to get everyone back together.
A new mission for Whitney, an impossible task that she'll be able to wrap up in an episode and a half.
Before she starts Dancing with the Stars.
Of course,
Because
yeah.
then she's going to be very busy.
She'll be very limited in her next season availability because, yeah, she's going to be gone for the first half of that too, probably.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Let's go back to what's going on with Dakota. Because at the end of the last episode, we found out about this family friend who was trying to get with Dakota. They are continuing to not let us know the name of this person. However, the internet has found it out. Her name is Tina. This is Tina who met Leanne at the gym. So they became friends, and she is close enough that they consider her like a family member.
So she's a cougar.
I guess she's trying to be one.
Tina Belcher's a cougar.
This really sucks for Taylor because she felt like last season Dakota ruined the press tour for her with the same bullshit. And now here she is going through it again. Her mom and brother come to LA because both Taylor and Whitney are going to be on Jimmy Kimmel Live and they're going to be in the audience. And Taylor just can't hold it in. She eventually tells them what happened with Dakota, even though she doesn't want to talk about it because it's going to get her all upset before she does all this press. But she tells them, and she's going off with her brother in the hotel room about it. And Leanne's reaction surprised us.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Leanne didn't double down on Dakota, but I guess fucking a friend is a bridge too far.
For Leanne?
For Leanne.
Yeah.
So a little too close.
You know what? Hopefully for Taylor as well, because this is the fourth girl that Dakota has cheated with.
And once it's kept in the family and it's that close, then you've gone too far. It's irreparable harm here. I don't know. Maybe Leanne's just a little upset that Dakota didn't come to her first.
I think so.
Maybe a little jealousy,
so.
a little tinge.
We know how she wants to be Taylor.
Right. Yeah. The way she just kept sulking in the corner, in the cuck chair in the hotel.
Clutching her Louis Vuitton.
And just grimacing and wincing at everything. And just, she's so heated over this.
Well, I bet you Taylor told her you can't say anything to anybody.
You can't. Yeah, you have to swear yourself to secrecy now because we are filming this and we're not going to say anything right now.
Also, Dakota is going to be coming to this premiere as well. So it's very possible that Leanne's going to have to come face to face with him.
Which we didn't even see the premiere because the premiere was like after the double-decker bus thing. And then it was just poof on to the next thing because...
That's this whole episode.
Yeah, nothing.
Play the sound. What was the commercial break sound? It was that 18 times.
Yeah.
We go to Jimmy Kimmel Live. So this is where Taylor and Whitney are having to spend some time together. And surprisingly, they're getting along really well and kind of bonding.
The friendship is reblossoming, I suppose, here in a couple of ways, a little bit.
Taylor even gets an apology from Whitney. That's a big step for Whitney. She managed to not make herself into a victim in the situation and put somebody else's feelings before her own. Growth.
Growth, yes, true. Taylor's trying to open up, but then, yeah, it's kind of like the scene from Step Brothers where they try to hug at the Catalina wine mixer, but then they're like pushing each other away and like they're used to fighting. So that's the motions that they're going through here. Taylor's trying to talk about, got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now, but can't get into it. Also because we're about to go do this interview and I don't want to start breaking down here in the midst of that.
Can I tell you how much I hate that? Just don't tell me because I need to know. I'm one of those people, you can't tease something to me and then expect that I'm going to wait for weeks to find out what you were talking about.
Whitney's okay with that. She's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
She's like, oh, that's really sad. Do you want to practice how we're going to go out? Maybe we can pretend to fight over the chair closest to Jimmy Kimmel. That'll be really funny.
See, that'll be, yeah, like playing into the Step Brothers thing of just, yeah, we're forcing each other out of the way here. And we could probably do that.
I liked seeing them get along.
It's better when Whitney and Taylor are getting along. It is better. But I think they have been pretty okay for this season. Like they hadn't been at odds really. I mean, I know Whitney's on the outs of MomTok, but like that wasn't anything personal. I don't think Taylor was taking anything personally. And then they kind of had their little stagecoach moment when Whitney had to come and film her TikTok.
Well, I think everybody was more so upset about Whitney just disappearing whenever she wants and coming in and out when there's some beneficial reason for her to show up again.
Right. Yeah, which clearly was Dancing with the Stars this season. So.
And Jimmy Kimmel.
Which Taylor's like, you know what? I don't really care. Yeah, if you're going to capitalize on whatever you're going to capitalize on, sure. I've got bigger issues.
Maybe she already got cast as the Bachelorette.
Maybe.
Do you think those conversations are happening?
I feel like there was like when Taylor was interviewing for the Dancing with the Stars, they were like, we got other things in mind for you. This was just kind of a formality where they weren't really considering her for that necessarily. And then they kept her resume on file for other things.
I just don't understand why everyone has to make it like Whitney's doing something wrong for trying to turn being on this show into something else when Taylor's going on The Bachelorette, Macy got a book deal. Like, it's not like she's the only one who's finding another opportunity or stream of income through being on this show.
Jesse's launching her hair academy.
Which is $18,000 in tuition, by the way.
It's a little expensive.
Yeah, no wonder she's so loaded.
Cheaper than college, but...
That's not the end of the Dakota drama in this episode.
Yeah.
No. So Taylor has to now start going on a fact-finding mission because apparently it matters whether or not Dakota's being truthful with her about what happened. So she talks to Jesse. Jesse's just relieved that she didn't have to be the one to tell Taylor this, that Dakota did fess up. But she is still having to have this conversation because now Taylor wants all of the info that Jesse and Jordan know.
Because then it's kind of still mixed signals as far as what story she heard from Dakota versus what Jesse is able to offer up. But Jesse's story is all secondhand, third-hand news. So that's going to be hard to corroborate here. And plus, why do you need to go all Nancy Drew on this when you literally know Dakota's a liar, Dakota's a cheater? Could have told you that. Season 1, episode 1. Yeah.
They're splitting hairs over how many pictures this woman sent to Dakota.
Does it matter?
And if the pictures were silhouettes or more exposed photos.
Does it matter?
No,
it doesn't.
And I think what she's most upset about is that when she and Dakota were getting back together, she was under the impression that he had come clean about everything that she would have wanted to know. This is something that she felt like he should have told her about, and he didn't. So isn't that just the problem, that there's no trust between you?
I mean, that's the bigger thing. And then, so she's calling Dakota to then confirm these things that she just heard from Jesse, or to clarify what happened. She needs to know. I don't know why Taylor has this obsession with like needing to know all of the details of stuff like that, especially when it's like hurtful, harmful things where it's like, this isn't constructive for you to know this. She
wants to catch him in as many lies as possible, and she keeps getting back with him.
But then it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But I think when they get back together, this is ammo for her to come to him and say, well, you did X, Y, and Z in the past to me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is the toxic pattern that they have, where I feel like maybe she should have called her therapist before she called Dakota.
Yeah, because then
maybe you
going
could have
through,
stopped yourself from that.
Going through these details, going through checking to see, oh, did you make plans to meet up with her and then you canceled? You bailed on it? No, we never did that. And it's like, okay, he can outright deny all this stuff. It doesn't matter. As soon as he's talking now, you don't need to listen anymore. He's a liar.
I think the bottom line for me, too, would be it's weird that my mom's friend made a move on you and we're trying to get back together and you didn't feel like that was something that I should know when she's a person who's present at a lot of our family events. That's weird.
Yeah.
Then she goes to her mom's house and they call this woman and they're digitally altering her voice. They're not telling us her name. Apparently she scrubbed herself from the internet. She really does not want to be associated with this at all.
Yeah, she did not sign that release form for the producers to use her voice, I guess.
And this is a very different experience from the last time Taylor had her little sit down with somebody who cheated with Dakota.
Oh, I thought you were going to say very different from the experience of the polygraph examiner who said that she didn't want to be on camera, but they didn't alter her voice.
No, they forgot that.
Whoopsie doopsie. Forgot to put that filter on
Forgot to put it on in post.
Whoops.
I'm glad we're protecting Tina's identity, though.
Yeah.
The last girl went to Macy's house and was upfront about everything. Let Taylor go through her phone and read the texts between her and Dakota.
Oh, yeah. This is interesting. This is a twist.
Miss Tina acts like she has no idea why Taylor's calling her.
Tina, we already know what happened. That's why we're calling you. We're calling you to have an opportunity to explain yourself. I'm not calling to ask you if this happened.
I already know.
It happened.
She's already had multiple sources give her their version of events. You're the third phone call.
You're like way down on the list here. You're not the person that I'm checking to see if this happened with. You're the person I'm trying to give you a chance to come clean about this or own up to it. And no, it's outright denial from everything. I don't recall sending any silhouetted bra and panty underwear photos to Dakota.
She denies ever having an interest in Dakota, which earlier in the season, we heard Taylor talk about this time that this person was there at a party and made a comment about how she would be with Dakota if she could.
She tried.
No, she was just offering a shoulder to cry on. That's why she may or may not have invited Dakota over to her house or had some interaction with him via text.
If she extended the invite, which she does not recall extending an invite, but if she had, it would be for moral support only, obviously, and not to try to get to know him carnally.
I bet you Tina's married. Did they say that?
No, I don't know.
I wonder if that's why they're protecting her identity and trying to keep it like a thing that's on the DL.
No, this is just the part of the season where you have to get the audience involved. This is the mystery that people have to then solve this part of it. Oh, the show isn't telling us what happened, so we need to figure it out. And then
send the internet sleuths after Tina.
Yeah, so they do figure out who this is. Because then if you go through Taylor's posts and stuff too, I mean, she was describing like photos at family events. So you can kind of narrow down who that would be.
People went through Leanne's photos.
Yeah.
And figured out who she was.
Right.
Well, that's where we leave Mom Talk this episode. We hope you guys are still here with us. Let us know in the comments.
In there. Yeah, one more to go.
We're almost there. Thanks for listening. See you next time.